Hey guys, welcome. My name is Fabio Spinella. I own a firearms training company called My Own Defender. I wanted to bring you some information about appendix carry and what that's like. I'll probably make two separate videos to kind of talk about the gear associated with appendix carry and how to best do that, the kit, I guess, around those things. And then the second video will give you some tools about how to practice the appendix carry position, maybe thoughts about how to draw safely from that position, and how to get after performance associated with appendix carry. That'll probably be a second video. But this first video is going to be about the gear associated with appendix carry and how you do that well. Every now and again, the pushback that I get from people is that, oh, appendix carry is not as comfortable as 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, which would be way behind you. The truth is, it's because you don't have the right gear. You haven't dialed in how to do that well. So I'm going to give you some tips today. And then the reason why we always would choose appendix carry as a way of conceal carry for civilians is that it's a tool that's in front of you. It's much more manageable where you have to get hands-on with somebody. And honestly, there's a lot more performance as far as speed goes when it's in front of you as opposed to having to go all the way behind you. Going behind you, we have tons of video evidence at this point of people not even managing to be able to get the gun out, getting stuck because their arms are now disengaged from the fight because they can't do it in front of them. They have to go back there. So it's telegraphing you're going for firearms. You're not able to fight very well where your elbow is so disengaged from the front of your body. And if the person in front of you knows how to fight, your elbow's gone, right? They're gonna probably arm drag you or something like that. So important to learn how to do this well. If you're going to carry as a lifestyle like I do and many proud Americans do, I encourage you to do it from the front. Just dial in the kit so you can be comfortable and do it well and do it proficiently. And then with time, as you get better and better, I have a lot of content on my Dryfire program on my website, myown.defender.com, and go to the Dryfire tab at the top. There's a ton of content about how to dry fire correctly from the appendix position, from outside the waistband and stuff. If you don't know about Dryfire, it's a way of practicing at home without having to use rounds. So essentially, your only cost is your time and not also the bullets associated or the ammunition associated with practicing live fire. You can do it at home, it's safer. Anyway, dry fire. We'll talk about dry fire maybe on a separate topic. So let's talk about kit. Arguably the most important part, I shouldn't say the most important, but one of the best things you can do for yourself is to get yourself a really good belt. This is a core belt. I like these guys a bunch. K-O-R-E, core belt. They are sturdy. They'll be able to support any weight of gun. I tend to carry full-size guns. I'll talk about why here in a second. So they have quite a bit of weight to them. And if you have a flimsy belt that isn't made for carrying, it's not going to do very well. Over time, it'll get eaten up, and obviously you'll print more. Printing meaning that you can see the gun underneath your clothes, like something like that, right? You have like some bulge under your clothes that makes it easier to spot that you're carrying, and depending on what state you live in, that's really, really bad. So a core belt, K-O-R-E belt, they come as a one size belt, and then you're going to cut it depending on your waist size and put the buckle back on. They have different colors. This is obviously this like tannish color, but they have black. They have leather-like materials if you wear dress clothes. So when I do protection gigs, I'll have either my black or my brown or whatever, depending on what suit I'm wearing. For every day, I have a black one. I have this color. Anyway, different things that you can try. It has a ratcheting system. You can see it there. So once you slide it into the buckle, you'll probably be able to hear it. There, right? And why do I like the ratcheting system? Because if I am wearing my belt and I need to maybe sit down, or maybe my gun is starting to get a little, depending if I'm eating or something changed, maybe my shirt, whatever. If I have to change something, it's a very quick adjustment to like cinch it up a little bit or pull the tab and loosen it up a couple of tabs. So it's a quick adjustment. You don't have to take your belt off. You don't have to take it out of the buckle to put it into the buckle. It's a quick adjustment system, and it allows you to be as tight as you need to be to make sure that the gun is concealed against your body and under your shirt or whatever you're wearing that day. your dress. Well, I guess if you're wearing a dress, you're probably not wearing a belt. But anyway, different topic. So a really good sturdy belt is going to be super important. It is part of your kit. It is part of your kit. What else is part of your kit? Your shirts, the shirts that you wear, whether it's button-ups or t-shirts or whatever. If your shirt goes below your zipper of your pants, it's entirely too long. This is pretty much as long as I will ever wear. This is a long shirt for me. Most of my shirts will be right at the belt line. Like my belt ends there and my shirt will often be just on the other side of that. And this is how I judge my shirts for carrying, right? If I put my arms out, my shirt is going to stay right at that level. If I put my arms up, the shirt would probably start showing the gun. And so how do you reach for a top shelf at a market, at a store, whatever? You're gonna grab a little bit of shirt and hold it down as you reach for the top shelf. I am telling you, if you want to be able to get the gun out and into the fight as quickly and as efficiently as possible, long tent-like shirts are not going to do. At some point, once you're committed to appendix carry for a lifestyle, you will probably have to change your wardrobe. Tons of people will size up their shirts so that they conceal super well or whatever. It's because they have the wrong kit underneath the shirt, and so they'll have this enormous shirt. Like they're probably like a medium person, they have an extra large shirt, but then the extra large shirt goes all the way to their like thighs, and then you have to like scoop all of this garment just to get the gun out. Not ideal. Your goal would be to have a shirt that's just below the belt, maybe half an inch to an inch just below the belt. This was more like 2 or 3 inches below the belt, so this is as long as I'll ever go. If it covered like my zipper completely or it went below that, then absolutely would be out. Would not consider carrying that with that shirt. So does that mean that you have to have a specific wardrobe to carry? Yes. It also means that before you leave your house that day that you're carrying, you're going to check your draw safely, right? Unload your gun, again, dry firing. Unload your gun and whatever you need to do to make sure that you can draw from whatever you're wearing that day. And sometimes you have a sweatshirt and you have to like tuck your shirt inside your sweatshirt if you have an undershirt. Again, lots of topics that we can cover in the Dryfire program should you choose to join that. But the basics of it is get a good belt. Your shirt length needs to be no more than an inch or two below the belt line. If you start playing with 3+ inches below the belt line, you're going to have issues drawing. You're going to start getting stuck. And the longer the shirt, the slower your draw. All right. And we know that speed matters when it comes to gunfighting, when it comes to competing, when it comes to all that stuff that involves shooting. You want to make sure that you are efficient and you can get the stuff done very, very quickly. So shirt length matters, shirt type matters. If you tend to wear like really tight shirts, or stiff shirts that don't have any kind of elasticity to that, that might be something you have to play with. It's like, okay, maybe you do need to go one size up, or maybe you need to start playing with shirts that have some flex to that so that when you go grab your shirt, and we'll talk about maybe the draw on the next video, when you go grab your shirt, you have some elasticity to it so you can clear your garment and get your gun out efficiently, all right? So shirt type and shirt size length is going to be important, as well as the belt. The next part of your kit is going to be your holster. Holsters come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. I'm gonna give you the absolutely not on any kind of collapsible holster. Any kind of leather holster that doesn't have a hard shell on the inside that collapses when you draw. Like you get the gun out and it like closes on itself and you have to open it back up to put the gun back in. Absolutely not. It's 2023. There's no reason to ever go to like really poor equipment. That's the nicest way I can say it. Don't do that. Belly bands that have like nylon and like absolute trash. Please stay away from gimmicky holsters or products that aren't made by people that actually shoot guns. Just don't do it. Get a Kydex holster, something that's hard plastic. That way it won't collapse on you. When you have it on you, if I draw, I can reholster without it collapsing on me. I don't have to open it back up and muzzle myself to put the gun back into the holster. That's a big no, and creates problems where when you go reholster, possibly something is touching your trigger as you're reholstering. It's just a nightmare. Don't do it, right? For the sake of what, comfort or saving money, I don't know why anybody would choose it. I think it's the gimmick and the marketing behind it, and it's no good. So If you're going to carry appendix, get a hard kydex holster like this. Now you don't have to have the side caddy. Like this is the side caddy where you put the extra magazine. You don't have to have that. You can just have a regular holster with just the gun side. Totally cool. This is a full-size gun going into that holster right there. This happens to be a light-bearing holster. In other words, it has a spot for a light. So if you're that person that wants to have a weapon-mounted light, you can get a kydex holster that has a weapon-mounted light. If you want an extra spare magazine, especially if you live in places where there's magazine capacity restrictions and you don't want to have just 10 in your gun, this is a great opportunity to have another one on you. Also, in my opinion, and the reason why all of my holsters, most of my holsters have the caddy, is that it distributes the weight of the gun across your belly. It also gives you multiple clips to put inside, put all over the belt so that the gun doesn't move as much. It's just a better way for me, for my body shape and size. I encourage you to play with that. But if you want to have less on you, maybe you're a smaller person or whatever, and you just want to have one side where the gun is, that's totally acceptable, totally cool. Let's see. This is a smaller gun, smaller holster. Same thing, same kind of thing where it's a light bearing. It's got a light right there, light bearing holster. But again, you don't have to have a light on your gun. My other one does not. You probably should always have a flashlight. Different topic. I'll let somebody else talk about everyday carry stuff. But anyway, multiple clips and wings. So regardless of what holster you choose, which kydex holster you choose, it's very important that you understand how to make it work for you, your shape, your size, and for your comfort as well. This one has traditional clips. These clips do not move up and down. They are not adjustable. That's just what the company makes. This is my man over at McKinney Holsters, makes really great holsters for me. He's been making holsters for me for years, and all of my holsters are McKinney holsters. But I often will change the accessories on the holster to make it fit me better. Now, for this size gun and holster, I did not need an adjustment on the clips, so I left his clips on there. I did change the wing. The wing is a tier 1 concealed wing. This is a non-light bearing wing, in case you guys want to look it up. And when it's not light bearing, it gives you extra room to the side of the butt of your gun. This is a regular tier 1 concealed wing, and this wing has stackables so that you can adjust both the height of it and the depth of it to see, based on your shape size and gun size and all that stuff, where it needs to be concealable enough and comfortable enough, right? These clips, on the other hand, these are tier 1 concealed clips, and you can see the different holes. These will be ride adjustable, so you can move them up and down to make sure that the gun sits inside your pants enough. Not too high, not too low. Now, why does it matter that we change the ride height? If I don't have the height correct, then my gun, let me get this holster. We'll talk about the back of it in a second. So if my gun is too low inside my pants, then the butt of my gun will be right against my belt line, and it does not allow me to put my fingers in there. All right, so let me put this on. I've got a different belt on because I was demoing some competition style things, but I'll make it work just for this. I would never carry with this Velcro belt in real life because it's too flimsy. But anyway, so if I don't have it right, and this is already dialed in, but let me see if I can mess it up. So if I don't have it right, notice how the butt of my gun is up against my belt. So if I go to draw, I literally have no room for my fingers to go in. This means that the gun is entirely too low inside my pants, and that's where the ride adjustment would be really helpful. If I put it back to where it's supposed to be, not jacked up, there it is, it would sit like this. Notice how much more room I now have to get my gun out, right? I can stick my fingers in there, I get a nice grip, and we'll talk about, again, how to draw on another video. But this is the important part. Getting a ride adjustable clips allows you to have room for your fingers to go in there and grab your gun. So right adjustable clips from Tier 1 Concealed, stackable wing. The wing makes it so that when you put the belt on it, it tucks the gun into your body. Tucks the gun into your body so that you don't have it like sitting out like that and then the butt of the gun is pushing out on your shirt. But if once you put the belt on it, it will tuck the gun into your body. So the better the wing, based on your, again, shape and size, the better the wing, the more tucked in the gun will be to your body, and it'll be less printing. And printing, again, being where it's visible. Like this would be printing. This would be really bad printing, right? If my gun is like flip forward like that, the more I can tuck it into my body and kind of start hiding it. Obviously it's not inside my pants, but the more I can tuck it into my body, the more concealed it will be. So again, a good wing will tuck the butt of the gun into my body. All right, one more thing before I let you guys go to the next topic. What do you put behind the holster so that you can have, again, more concealability and more comfort? For me, many of my holsters have a piece of yoga block. This is a yoga block that I've cut and shaved. Here's another example of a yoga block that I've cut and shaved. It's the same yoga block. I've cut different corners of it. And I'll cut it and shave it to my shape, and then it'll kind of fill in like on my body where it makes the most sense. If you have a little tactical muffin going on, you got a little something going on there, you can fill that in with a bigger wedge and put that in there, and now you're not gonna get those hot spots on your body because the plastic is digging into your leg or your pelvis or whatever, your belly or whatever. With a good wedge, you get more comfort, and because the wedge is at the bottom, it'll tuck the top of the gun into your body. A lot of people, when they print, is because they get a very small gun, right? The gun is very short and it's very top heavy up here, and the gun just like sits on the belt like this. Right? Because it's a small gun and it sits very high because the muzzle, like the barrel length is so short, it'll be very top heavy because the ammunition is in here, and so it'll sit forward like that and it'll print under your shirt. With a good wedge, then it starts to push your gun back into your body, and with a good wing, it'll tuck the butt of the gun into your body. So let me see if I can show you. This would be really poor. With a good wedge, it'll tuck it into your body because the bottom gets pushed into you. And with a good wing, it'll push the butt of the gun into your body. One more time. This would be poor. With a good wedge, it'll push the gun into your body, making it more flat, more concealable. And with a good wing, it'll push the butt of the gun into your body, making that even more concealable. So having the right accessories is going to be how you conceal your gun better. Having a good wedge based again on your shape and size will make it more concealable and more comfortable to carry. Now, not all of my holsters require a big piece of block like this, depending on the, again, shape and size of the gun and all that stuff. For this smaller gun, I have a small Tier 1 concealed wedge. It's one of those wide ones and kind of like thin, right? It's thin and it's wide and it conceals great. Right? If I put this on, even on a bad belt, it should be pretty well concealable. Again, the better the belt, the better it'll conceal. But so if I'm walking down the street, right, you're not gonna know that I'm wearing my gun, and it's very comfortable. I have driven across country with a full-size gun in my pants, and I forget that I have it on because the kid is correct. All right. Now, sitting in the car, you might have to like pick up your belt a little bit, and you sit down. Good. When you stand up, you might have to push it down a little bit. Again, there's much more content than I can possibly give you in a short video, but this makes it so that I can have a gun readily available to me. All right. So again, a good clip, a good wing. Sorry, the clips for this one I did not have to right adjust. And then this is one of the examples of a wedge that you can just buy. These are the wide wedges. These are a little bit different. See how they're thicker? So if you need more, you can have more thickness to them. And then there's some, again, but it's fairly wide. And then there's some narrow ones. There's some narrow ones that you can use and shorter ones. There's all sorts of different shapes and sizes. These are all Tier 1 concealed products. And then you have a Mastermind product. I think it's called Mastermind Concepts or something. But these are like cushions, and see how they're different sizes. That could be another option. They're Velcro, so you put the other side of the Velcro on the holster and you stick it on there. For example, Yeah, so this one is another holster for similar guns. If I wanted to put that Velcro right on there, boom. And now I have something in the back that makes this more concealable. Maybe I want two, boom. More concealable and more comfortable. More concealable and more comfortable. But again, you're going to have to play with some of this, kind of dial in what it is that you need. I'm giving you the names of some companies that make a great product that allow you to dial in your kit so you can be comfortable. Again, the core belt, the tier 1 concealed accessories are really nice. Tech makes a great holster. Tier 1 concealed makes a great holster. Again, stay away from belly bands, stay away from nylon products for concealed carry inside the waistband. For leather holsters, they have a collapsible, like they don't have a hard shell on the inside, all that stuff. Just stay away from that. Get a hard Kydex holster that works great, that's going to have an ability to put different clips on it so you can ride adjust, and different wings so that you can adjust how that gun tucks into your body. And then lastly, I know I mentioned it a second ago, like people like to carry like the smallest possible gun because they're like, well, that's the most concealable gun. I am telling you, you're going to want to carry, once you get to shooting and you get good at shooting and you understand how guns work, you're going to want to carry the biggest gun that you can carry comfortably. And for me, it's a full-size 4.5, 5-inch gun, because the more gun there is below the belt, then the lower that can like push against my body and give me a good tilt into my body. If my gun is very short, I don't have anything to push against my body to tilt the gun back into my body, and so I will want to tilt forward because that's where it's heavy. I mentioned it earlier, I want to make sure I say it again. So if you were one of those people that gets like the micro compact, like super small, like 3-inch guns, they're much harder to conceal, believe it or not. The longer guns, 4.5, 5-inch guns, like really full size, full guns, are often easier to conceal because there's more below the belt line that can then be pushed with a wedge so that it pushes the gun back into your body, and it distributes the weight of the gun much better against you, so you can have a more comfortable and more concealable experience from the appendix position. That is essentially like all of the kit related things. Again, shirt size and length matters, belt matters, the holster you get, make sure that you get a holster that works, and then the accessories around the holster, the wedge behind all that stuff. I will say one more word for people that don't normally wear like a belt. I'll point you to a couple of products. If you don't normally wear a belt and you're like, oh, I wear gym shorts all the time, or I wear dresses and I still want to carry appendix, or I don't know, whatever your reason might be for not having a belt, or maybe you wear leggings all the time or jeggings or whatever. There are products that kind of make their own little carry system. Neomag makes this beltless carry system. It's essentially like a strip of, it's not Kydex, it's another tougher material that applies, kind of like molds around your body a little bit. And that will have these clips called the ulti clips. And they'll attach to just about anything, shorts, leggings, whatever. So if you have leggings on and you don't have a belt, but you still want to carry, you can use the beltless receiver with those ulti clips, and it'll clip on there. I will say that if your leggings are somewhat loose or not sturdy enough, you're still going to have a lot more movement than you like. So, but it is one way to do that. I know a company makes the Enigma, I think it's Filsters. I don't love it. I think it's too much to put on. It's kind of a hassle, but I do know some people that do like it. It's got a leash around the leg, and this system, I can't endorse it because I don't use it and I don't really like it. But I know that there are some people that do. So if you want to look into the Enigma, and then there's another company called Leisure Carry that makes something like the Neomag, the beltless receiver, and that one seems to be really good. Lots of people like that. So those three companies do make an opportunity to make a product to give you an opportunity to carry inside the waistband appendix without having a belt on. So if you're often wearing workout clothes or something like that, or you're for work, I don't know, whatever it is you do, and you want another option, those are the option. Leisure Carry, Neomag, and I guess if you must, Filster, Enigma. Again, not something I love, but it is available on the market. So those are the products that are associated with appendix carry. Let me know if you have any questions, and let's get to work.